What's going on, everyone? This is Alex, USA Days. So today we're going to talk about 5 things I wish I've been told when I just started working as a QA engineer. Specifically, manual QA engineer was when I was a new QA engineer. Right now, I have 10 plus years of experience in testing. I'm a senior QA engineer. I've been in management positions. I did automation, I did hands-on, like full stack kind of a QA, and I worked in different industries, worked with different products, so hardware, software, e-commerce, web testing, API testing, game testing. So a lot of different things I've seen, and I think that information would have been helpful if I've been given those 5 tips at the very beginning of my career to make some of the processes easier, and maybe it would help to adapt better and learn things better, faster, without less stress. Uh, the things that I would have liked to hear when I was just starting. Number one is become an expert in the product you're testing. So, as a manual QA engineer, it's important to understand the product you're testing inside and out. You should own it and take pride in what you do, because as a result of your testing, many people will have a lot better experience with the product. You might even end up as a user of your own product. So let's say you work for one of the bigger companies and you're testing, let's say, navigation system. You might even use it as a consumer, or your friends or your parents. So work that you do is important, and it is important that you understand your product and how it works. So, understand the product will help you to identify potential issues and ensure that the product functioning as expected per the acceptance criteria. So, taking time, uh, testing your product, and understanding in and outs of it, understand the functionality, and looking at things from the user perspective through the user flow, how the user is testing it to understand the product better, is important. Second thing is, don't be afraid to ask questions and do research. So there will be a lot of Googling um, to look for answers. There for QA industry, there's a lot of things that are not recorded. There's no documentation out there. It's just like you trying to figure out how to solve problem. If your research failed and you can't really find anything online and you can't figure things out, then don't feel afraid and reach out to an expert. Right? See if you can ask for help and figuring out answer together. Also, take time and read into companies' documentation, so you might find answers there, or even you might find some discrepancies on how product actually works versus how it's recorded should be working. So you might even uncover issues by going through the documentation, and you can point them out. So this is not matching, the current behavior. So yeah, I think testers do a lot of googling, and that's just part of it, a part of the job. There's no company that has everything perfectly recorded, all of the steps, all of the product configurations, and a lot of new things come up that you have to configure and like set up yourself. So searching for the answers and googling is going to be your daily thing. For me, I think QA is, even after 10 plus years working in the industry, it's still the same process of googling things every day and learning. And you kind of you kind of even if you change like projects, you start working on something new in the same company, you still have to learn things. There's no case where you know everything when you come on board. Every product is different, the interactions that the product has is different, so you're always learning. So searching for answers will be your like daily thing. The third thing I want you to remember, that quality of the product is not only QA's job. Quality of the product is actually team effort. So while often QA is seen as a gatekeeper, it is important to remember that everyone participates: developers, project managers, everyone who works with the product, touches the product, have to understand that quality is also their responsibility. If they see something, if they think something doesn't make sense, they have to talk about it, they have to come up with it and like file tickets, file bugs, or come to you with those findings, right? So, as a QA engineer, you should advocate for quality, and you should work closely with development team to identify and resolve issues, right? So, be advocate of quality. not just the gatekeeper, but the actually person that promotes quality across all of the stages of the product, from acceptance criteria creation through the development stage when you talk with developers, maybe helping them to show some behaviors, and all the way through to the release, right? Because you don't want to end up as a person that it kind of been just given things and thrown over the fence to you and like, hey, take care of this, test it, make sure it's good. No, everyone need to understand that quality is a team effort. Okay. Uh, the number four that I want you to remember it is that you can't catch all the bugs. Uh, it's impossible. So systems will change. Systems that your system interact with will change. Updates gonna come. Yeah, users will be creative in ways how they use the product and how they interact with the product. So it's okay. It's going to happen that things get into production and users find them. As long as there are process in place where team responds fast and addresses the issue properly, either just to go into a previous build or applying like a hot fix. Uh, there should be some procedures of damage control in place. Things get out, and that's fine. You, as a QA engineer, have to strive for consistency. So, even though you can't catch all the bugs, yeah, you want to focus on keeping your product at a certain quality level, and that means that your product have to be competitive on the market. If you're working on a product, and let's say it's a like real estate website that helps finding real estate buyers, let's say, and make sure that your product is competitive. There are not a lot of issues. The amount of issues that is getting into production is consistent. They're not going up all of a sudden. You instead of like five, six, seven issues per release, you jump up to 25. There's something going on. So remember, you can't catch all the bugs. Bugs gonna go out. That's fine, but you want to focus on keeping the quality of the product competitive and amount of issues escaping consistent. Don't let it grow, right? So make sure you keep it under the same level. And the last point that I want to give, the fifth one, is make sure that you promote visibilities of issues found. So always leave a paper trail and communicate effectively. When you open bugs, make sure you include all the info how to reproduce them, easy steps to follow, logs, images, whatever necessary. When someone comes to working on the issue, that all the information that they need is there, and it's clearly written how it happened, what are the steps, what environment was there. Also, remember to promote visibility by posting the issues that you found to PM, send them to the product manager, or post in the team chat. So if there are no official process or the process is not as visible as you want when issues are discovered, make sure that you make them visible, because you might open something up, it will get deprioritized, and all of a sudden this thing becomes like a big bug that is in production for quite some while, and it never was addressed because there was not enough visibility to it. Okay. And when you communicating, make sure that you're leaving paper trail, right? So all of the communication, it's not just in chat. If there's something that related to a specific issue, make sure you add it in the actual communication for that specific bug or a story or a ticket. So when you can come back to it after a time, there's always a trace why things were done a certain way. Okay. In general, I want you to remember that effective communication is a key of a successful Q engineer. So you should communicate with your team, with developers, with PMs. Should be transparent about any challenges you have and issues that you find. And one of the main responsibilities of a QA engineer, aside from testing, that you will have to be communication bridge between product and development. Many times you will find yourself in position where you try to clarify requirements from PM in order to make sure that developers implement them correctly. Um, QA is not only about testing, is not only about quality, but also closing this gap in communication between development and product. Okay, so that's the five things I wish I was told when I was just starting as a QA engineer. Hopefully, they're helpful. Thanks everyone for watching. Bye bye.